Hey everybody, welcome to Combat Saturday for January 16th, 2021. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. Now today, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite pieces of equipment, non-magic item pieces of equipment uh, out of D&D. This device first came in 3rd edition. And boy, I tell you, the first time I got 50 gold when I was playing in uh, 3rd edition, I was buying these things. And I used them as, battlefield control 1/2. And they were pretty effective at low levels and kind of fun to use. In 5th edition, we now know them as Tangler Grenades. Uh, And today we're going to talk a little bit about these devices, where they've come from, how they've evolved, and what they can do for you. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to um, our source books. This is the 3rd edition Player's Handbook, and one of the things that I like about this is that it gives you images of all of the equipment. And so right here, you can see we have our Tanglefoot bag. It looks kind of like this lumpy um, sack, if you will. And the Tanglefoot bag is a round leather bag. Not very round, was it? Full of alchemical goo. When you throw a Tanglefoot bag at a creature, it has a ranged touch attack with a range increment of 10 feet. So 10 feet or 20 feet. The bag comes apart and the goo bursts out, entangling the target and then becoming tough and resilient upon exposure to air. An entangled creature takes a -2 penalty on attack rolls and a -4 penalty to dexterity and must make a DC 15 reflex save or be glued to the floor and able to move. Even on a successful save, it can move at only half speed. Huge or larger creatures unaffected by a Tanglefoot bag. Flying creatures not stuck to the floor, but it must make a DC 15 reflex save or be unable to fly and fall to the ground. A Tanglefoot bag does not function underwater. So a creature that's glued to the floor and able to fly can break 3 by making a DC 17 strength check or by dealing 15 points of damage to the goo with a slashing weapon. Creature trying to scrape goo off itself or another creature assisting does not need to make an attack roll. Hitting the goo is automatic, after which the creature that hit makes a damage roll to see how much of the goo is scraped off. Once free, the creature can move, including flying at half speed. A creature capable of spellcasting is bound by the goo must make a DC 15 concentration check to cast a spell. Goo becomes brittle and fragile after 2d4 rounds, cracking apart and losing its effectiveness. Application of a universal solvent to a stuck creature dissolves the alchemical goo immediately. So yes, these, as we see in the Tanglefoot bag, where the heck is it? Right here. Tanglefoot bag, 50 gold pieces, weighs 4 pounds. Yeah, those things were great. You get into a fight with a bunch of orcs or a bunch of goblins as a low-level party. You just throw those things out, and boom, you get half of your enemies unable to move. Deal with the other half, and then go pick off those things. And yes, it only lasts like what it says 2d4 rounds, but that's usually enough for a combat at low levels. And things had a hard time of really getting away from that at low level. So that's the origin of it, the Tanglefoot bag. Now in 5e we have the Tangler Grenade. So let's take a look and see what that's all about. Now notice There's no cost or weight. Why? Because this is now something that alchemists are supposed to make. Tangler Grenade is an alchemical, non-magical item with an ovoid resin shell that shatters on impact. As an action, a creature can throw a Tangler Grenade at a point up to 60 feet away. So we had range increment of 10 feet in the old edition. Now it's 60 feet. Each creature within 10 feet of a shattered Tangler Grenade must succeed on a DC 15 Dex save or be restrained by sticky white webs. As an action, a creature can try to free itself or another creature within its reach from the webs, doing so with a successful DC 20 Strength check. A gallon of alcohol dissolves the webs produced by a single Tangler Grenade. Otherwise, webs dissolve on their own after 1 hour, freeing any creatures restrained by them. So very similar in its application, but a little bit larger area, little bit longer lasting. Instead of just a couple of rounds, it's an hour. The dex check to avoid it, the strength check to break out from it, is very similar to what we had in 3rd edition. And again, this is something that probably is of most use to a party when they are at very low level. But of course, the fact that it doesn't have a cost associated with it, and it doesn't have a weight associated with it, that means you got to be able to find it. So it's not necessarily something you're going to find all the time. And what I find really interesting about 5e, I don't remember this being available back in 2014 when 5e launched. I might be wrong, but normally in D&D Beyond, they give you a source and they tell you where it came from. They also normally have down here a place where people can leave comments, and you notice they're not doing that. So it's kind of a mystery what source this came out in and what when it actually launched. Let's just really quickly Tangler Grenade, and let's see. Okay, wandering. Okay, all right. It came out from Dungeon of the Mad Mage. That's what it was. All right. So this is something that the monsters in Dungeon of the Mad Mage will use. But now, look, you're on level 19, and you're fighting CR8 monsters. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of bogus. Um, so your mid to higher level party with an alchemist is going to be able to create these once they find them and make them, and then sell them to your low level party. So this is the D&D equivalent of having a main and making an alt that can make use of the things that your main makes in video games like EverQuest or World of Warcraft or those types of things. All right. Okay. Well, now we solved the mystery of where this comes from and why it does. But it's kind of weird that it doesn't tell you it's from Dungeon of the Mad Mage. A little bit of an inconsistency there. All right, everyone. If you like what we do, subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, click the post notification bell. In the description, you will find all the ways that you can follow me on social media and how to follow the live streams that I do every week. Once again, I have been DM Gallibond. This has been Combat Saturday. We appreciate you guys coming by every week, and we will talk to you later. Good night. everyone.